I'm trying to figure out what to do with these kids, because at that time, mom and dad are not there. So then...
Did you ask where I was?
They said that you were at work, but that you would be walking, and that they had been, someone had, I believe, went out to try and find you, because I think that you did get picked up and brought to the house, and they had been trying to get a hold of you. So you show up at the house. By that time, I had been there for a while, and so I had already gotten a hold of the judge and had received a removal order. And I used that because I did speak with the kids, and I did see the medical, the teeth, just an accumulation of all of this.
Okay, so why was every one of them taken because of Cameron's teeth?
So I guess what you guys are not understanding, it was just an accumulation of everything that happens when I pull up and there's arguing. I can't find mom and dad. I know at one point I do find out that mom's in the hospital, and I think for a few minutes, for a while, we didn't know if mom was getting out. There was all of that going on. Then I've got these relatives here that are willing to take the kids, and I've got other people telling me things. And so I'm just trying to figure out, it's my job to make sure that those kids are going to be safe. So I call the judge, and again, it's been so long I don't remember the conversation. But I tell her the facts that I know about the teeth, about the schooling, that they're recently moved here, that they're in a home, and they're sharing a bedroom because.
And how long was we here again?
And so then the judge gives me an order of removal. And so then when you come, you were very kind, and I talk to you. I tell you what's going on, and we agreed.
And why did you tell me that you took the kids?
We agreed to take the kid. You agreed to put the kids with the respective family members. Now, in terms of...
But why did you say why you took them right there that day
In terms
when
of
I came?
Ashley, I did not go to her house. My coworker, Pat, helped me.
We're telling you what what Ashley
took her
said.
there.
We're telling you everything that came out of her mouth.
Okay.
Because she
So
also
then-
said that she had seen you afterwards.
Okay, so then in my reports, if you see something in my report, like, let's just for instance say, because I'm not going to pull one out right now, if I'm talking with your mother, Teresa, correct, and she's telling me stuff, whatever she tells me, I put in those reports. So whether you agree with what she's saying or not, that's coming from what she tells me.
Okay.
And so then at the end of my report, I only need to have a preponderance. I don't have to, it's not criminal, I don't need to have 100%. I only need,
I'm getting it.
51%.
I only need 51%.
But who give her that 51%? The judge?
And I staff everything with my supervisor. And I take direction from my supervisor. And before I called the judge, I had a conversation with Greg, who said,
And you
"Call the
told
judge."
Greg everything that Teresa told you.
I
Just like
told
you
Greg.
just said, they were here for 3 months.
I told
And
Greg,
she said that with confidence, like she knew we was here for 3
She
months.
would have to go off what information she had. She
I tell him
called
the
me.
allegations, I tell him what I know, what I've seen.
You see how she
So
told
he
you we
tells
was here
me.
for 3 months? With confidence, like she knew. We know that we wasn't.
Well, because
So that means she took Teresa's lies and actually believed them. Because how can she say we was here for 3 months when we have proof that we was only here for 2?
okay, so I'm taking it from the date of my report. My report.
You can't put down a date that happened in May and then say we was here for 3 months.
No,
from
I'm
what she
looking
said.
at-
Because she also said that Destiny was 5 months pregnant.
No, I'm looking at my intake date, the
when-
date it came in on April 27th.
Okay?
So-
That's still 2 months.
February, March, April. So I'm thinking in my
You
head 3
can't
months.
count February, March, April. You count from
can't- you
February
stay
to
here
March.
from
That's 1 month.
February,
The end of
March,
February to
April.
March. The end of February, from February 20th
So I'm
to
not
March
gonna
20th is
argue.
1 month. Is that not
So-
2 months? February to April?
So
From the end of February to, okay, February 20th to March 20th. That's 1 month, right? Okay. From March 20th to April 27th. That's 2 months, not 3.
okay, I'm sorry, a month. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna argue
you're
with
off.
that.
You're off.
So
Your case was off.
no, but your children are adjudicated, and so that's out of my hands.
But the appeal
So
ain't.
now, no, the appeal isn't done,
No,
but your
it's
kids
not.
are still adjudicated.
Okay, and the appeal is
Even
gonna
if
hurt
you-
you very
Okay,
bad.
go ahead.
We already know that.
Even
We
if
already
the
know
appeal
if
goes down, that doesn't mean that your children are automatically not adjudicated and that you get them again.
we already know that. We've been talking to people. We already know all of that.
So what my hope was in setting this up was that you guys could get out your concerns and voice them so that we can move on in our case and get her home. Because I don't want to see this wait until April, until we go into court.
It should have never went this far. If she would have called my job and then called and talked to the deputy that gave his badge number, his name and phone number, then everything would have been completely fine. She refused to call anybody that could tell her what happened that day.
I believe that I spoke to your job, and I believe.
Okay, what about the deputy that was
And I
there that
believe-
picked her up that said
Okay.
that you should call him?
So, can I answer that without you being interrupting me?
Is she not supposed to call the one that was
So,
there?
I have a deputy that picked her up to take her to the hospital on a committal issue,
Mm-hmm.
and then she comes home. Me talking to that deputy to find out that she's been released means it's not gonna do anything with my.
It's not telling you. He said he was going to tell the
Pick me up
story.
out of the room.
He told the doctors that her mother was real adamant that she get removed from the home. That's what he said, that she was real adamant and that she was being very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? How did she show up right before the police?
Did they do a civil commitment on you?
No, they did
They-
nothing.
they
They
did
transported
nothing.
her out there, and I get that. I totally agree with that part of it. They transported her out there.
And the deputy said that he was with her and she never changed, like that they alleged, saying that she was bipolar and schizophrenic, and they said that she was diagnosed with this stuff. I'm saying you got to have proof of that.
And so then
she was diagnosed
back.
with nothing.
She was back before I left. I mean, everything had kind of happened. So that I don't have any reason to dispute that or to, but I do have kids' teeth. I do have.
But if a
concerns
deputy
because-
is trying to tell you what he saw and how her mother set this up, why would you not contact him? I told you that. I told you everything about Deputy Smith. And you didn't contact him one time. I
It
told
would
you
not
about
have helped
every.
her. It would have
How's it
done
not going to
anything
help the
differently
how
from
when he
before.
was the witness? He witnessed her coming over there,
because
getting her removed from the home. If he witnessed that, how's that not going to help? And then the judge that sent her home back to the kids is over Judge Dean. She's the chief judge.
But that
And you
didn't have
knew
anything-
that. You knew
That has
you
nothing
said
to do
who
with
you wanted to know which judge sent her home. Trying to see if it was Judge Dean. That's what
I know
you asked
it
her.
wouldn't be Judge Dean because
Oh,
of the way in courts how the courts.
okay,
are
with her coming home with you couldn't call the judge back and tell the judge that it was made up?
That's what the hospital did.
Yeah, that's what the hospital did. They called the judge and told the judge that it was made up.
What you guys aren't understanding is that situation, your situation, and going to the hospital on that committal. That's just one piece of the puzzle. We still have
Okay, well her
concerns
mother
with
is the one who
kids.
made it up.
Okay, then
Her mother and
why
her
did your
sister.
mother-
But they didn't
Okay, so why did you? No, we're mad at you because you listened to her mother. That's the
No,
problem.
I saw
You didn't
the
do your
child had
job.
Rotten teeth.
No, he
That's
didn't
not
have
what the
rotten
dentist
teeth.
said.
The dentist didn't even say he had rotten teeth.
Okay, well,
That's
I
what
saw
you
that.
say. You can't just say that.
Okay, well,
you got to
you
find
had
out from a
medical
doctor
advice.
before you talk. You
So-
can't just put something in paperwork without no evidence or proof.
So the information that I had, I say to a judge, we go to court, and I can't.
The
there's
first
nothing
judge,
I can
when we
do.
stood in front of Judge Bailey said the kids are not in need of assistance. That's what happened when we went to court. The next time we went to court, we was about to be in front of Judge Bailey again, and y'all waived it because we had Uncle Ricky out there and his wife that was out there because they was witnesses. Y'all waived it until the 14th.
I don't waive anything.
I
don't
know
what you're talking about.
our attorneys did,
And we didn't even know
Alan,
that.
and we never told them to. He know who they are.
Okay, I
We
don't
told them to
know.
contest from the very beginning on the day the day of court. We told them to contest. We didn't want to go in there and not contest. They went in there and didn't contest. And our kid, even though she said there was not in need of assistance, they were still taken away from us. That makes no sense.
I don't know. That doesn't make how you say it. I don't know what.
I'm telling you that Judge Bailey said the kids are not in need of assistance. That's what she
And
said.
that was the initial,
That was the first day in court.
Well, if that
and then
was
what they do,
that
set it
doesn't-
in for,
Because our
a
attorneys
continuance?
contested it.
They didn't contest.
I mean, they
we
did.
told them to contest.
Yeah, we both
they
did.
didn't contest.
Did they send it in for a continuance at that point where, because sometimes I think lawyers don't have to give their opinion until they get to the next.
It was continued. I don't know why, I wasn't there, but it was continued, and then there was an adjudicatory hearing on June 14th of 2018.
In front of Judge Dean, the one who had the kids taken. We was in front of Bailey, and they said the reason why we waived it is because we wouldn't admit for the kids to be in child in need of assistance. No, we're not going to admit that.
What I'm guessing they did then, when you say didn't admit, was because you guys weren't agreeing, they set it out for a hearing.
But why would we agree to that? And the judge even said they wasn't in need of assistance.
Well, it's.
So why would
you're
we
talking
say
about
they
a
are?
Contested hearing.
Yeah, what they did was, the initial they called the initial here, admit, deny. If we come into the hearing and the parents are not in agreement, if all the attorneys and the parties are not in agreement, then what they do is set it out for a different adjudication evidentiary hearing. And I
Okay, so
think
basically
that's
what you're saying
happened.
is somebody was against nobody was coming together because of one person, right?
Well, what that means is not that not all the parties were in agreement, that.
To our kids coming home.
No, that they were not, when you're looking at adjudication, what that means is whether or not there was an abusive situation.
Okay.
So what, everybody was not in agreement that there was an abusive situation. So what they do is, if like your attorney, mom's attorney, the state's attorney, and the kid's attorney are not all in agreement with what happened, if they're not all agreeing, yes, there is, then what they do is they set it out for what they call, in my end, they call it admit deny, okay? Or evidentiary, where everybody comes in, they have a full-blown hearing, and everybody presents evidence, okay? That's what I think happened at that hearing, it was when they came in and it was admit deny, and when they say that and nobody's in agreement, then they automatically set it out for another hearing so that everybody can.
Who set it out for that day? The judge?
The
Because
judges
we didn't
do.
even see the judge that day.
The
We never even
judges
got
do.
to step in
Have you ever
court.
testified in court?
Not one time. We haven't been able to. Not one time. Judge Dean will not let us testify. The last time we went in court, I wanted to talk. She refused to let me talk. She ended court because she had a phone call.
How did they, so then take me back to the adjudicatory hearing when they were actually because I don't remember having a big,
I was trying to pull up the order.
I don't
Well,
remember.
I have the order. I wasn't there.
So that's Alan.
That's Alan. But there was an adjudicatory hearing on June 14 of 2018.
And did you guys admit under something?
Nothing.
We didn't admit under nothing.
Because we did not go to we didn't have, I remember kind of going to court, but we did not have no testimony.
There was testimony.
There was? I do not remember.
I'm pretty sure there was.
From us?
From the state side only.
Oh.
But, okay, so why didn't you guys testify? Do you know?
Well, basically, Ryan told us that they
said
had
he
no
got-
case.
No, he told
He
us that the
said
judge's decision was already made.
Yeah, he said the
me-
judge's
let me
decision
ask
was
you
made.
this.
But how did the judge's decision get made before we even get in there?
That's what he
Angel.
That makes no sense. Yes, sir.
The stuff you were talking about, her mother,
Mm-hmm.
did you have all that knowledge in June? As
Not to
you're
the
saying
point that we
now?
do now. Not all. Well,
I've been having all of that knowledge from the very beginning. I let my attorney know, even when we was in court, I'm sitting here telling him stuff over and
Oh,
over.
yeah, yeah.
He's not saying nothing. That's why he quit when I called him out. He quit because I told him everything I told you to say in court, you never did it. And I have it on recording. He quit because I was calling him out because he pretty much walked us into this. Him and Ryan.
Can I say some things on your behalf? You see our concern is that these folks feel like they didn't get a fair shake. And there's obviously anger there because of it. And from my vantage point, I can understand it. And so I'm sitting here thinking, how can we get these kids back in their care? And then I hear, and maybe I misheard this, Beth, but I thought I heard you start to say something like, well, maybe before the hearing, we could find a way to get the kids back into their care. And so that perks my interest. And I guess my question to y'all is, what if Angel gets a copy of that drug test from his work, and you all know he's working? And granted, these folks are upset and to the point of being angry about all this. That's just a given, because what's happened to them? And you folks say, well, they need to get over that. Well, to some degree, I think the system, everybody else, me and you all and the prosecutors need to get over the fact that they are angry. And they have reason to be angry. So, but that doesn't change the fact that Angel's able to go to work every day and be productive and work with the people and get along. And then I see him come in here and I look and they have this wonderful little baby and they jump to attention when the baby has a need, both of them. I seen it right in the room and you guys have too. That's telling me they're able to care for this child. It makes me really think most probably they could care for these other kids. And I guess my thought is, and I know we're talking about creative, because the problem is this case doesn't fit our normal cookie cutter pattern. And then Bev said something, started speaking out, and there's been a lot of interrupting today, and she said something like, well, maybe we can find a way to get these kids back to you. I guess my wondering, I just really have to significantly wonder here is this case different than the cases we normally see? And is there a way we can explore getting the kids back in the home? And let me throw out an idea or two. You know, sometimes we don't just send all the kids back at once. Sometimes we take one child, an older child or something, and send the kid back and say, and then keep an eye on things. How are things going? How's this child doing? Is he or she in good shape? I'm just trying to explore ways in which maybe we could get some resolution of this when we've got two people who can take care of this little baby. So I'd like to see if you guys have any ideas that you could help us with.
Right. Go ahead.
I would love to. What I would tell you is, as I told them the other day on the phone, I would love to get these kids home. I just need you guys to be open with me. Tell me where you're at in housing. Where are you at in getting it? Where are you at? Because you mentioned the other day on the phone that you thought in the next couple weeks you would have housing. Mm-hmm. Or to get us a way to get into your grandpa's house so that we can come in there on a
But we
continual.
can't force him if he doesn't want to do it.
That's the reason why
understand.
we're taking care of the situation.
Okay, because guys,
That's one of the things the court would.
Yeah,
want.
I'm gonna tell you, I have thought, my boss and I have all talked about if we could get into your home on a regular basis and be able to assess safety in your home and know that your home is safe. If we could get access to grandpa's house or wherever you're going to be, that's key in us getting your kids home. That's key. So if you guys, and I know you've been very angry. And guys, nothing I have been able to say has surpassed that, has taken it away, and I understand that, but it's also stopped us from being able to figure this out to get them home. And I don't want to wait until April to get your kids home because we have a hearing. I want to fix this so your kids come home. That's where my stance is. And yes, that's my job as the ongoing worker, is to work with you guys to get them home. So if you guys are going to give, grandpa's house, wherever, that we can get in there, see that everything's okay, and that you guys will meet with us and work with us, we can get them home. That's the major thing right now, is even being able to work together. That's the huge barrier. If you guys will meet with us, work with us, we can get these kids home. I have no doubt we can achieve this goal, but we gotta work together. So,
What do you mean by meeting and working with you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Now, what
That's a good
exactly does
question.
that mean?
what that means is I, per se, more than likely will do once a month, maybe more than that. If there's more that I can do myself, then sometimes families see me more than once a month. Once a month is minimal, okay? Amy would be first line worker, working with you in the home. If we can get ways to help you get housing, like I have shared with you, we can't pay for deposits.
But
guys.
why do Amy need to work with us in our home? Even Megan said that Callie wouldn't have to do that. She said because we've never had supervision problems.
Because that's part of us assessing the safety, for us to be able
It's
to
one of the
say.
things, you don't want DHS making this whole statement. You want somebody outside to say, hey, you know what? We're seeing they're doing what they're just supposed
Well,
to be
in
doing.
reports, they've
Right.
lied from the very beginning, families first have. And we've highlighted all their lies. They've been lying from the very beginning. And what made me pay more attention to their lies is the fact that we've done nothing that they wanted
Let
us
me
to
ask
do.
you, Who's the guardian litem on this case? Would you be open to the guardian litem dropping in and seeing the house?
Heidi Van Winkle, I believe, is guardian. I'd like to.
Where has she been at? Our kids has been abused in every home.
Short answer is
And
yes. That's the guardian ad litem.
Yeah.
I'm saying
And
she-
sometimes guardian litems actually do that. They'll drop in and check out the house and make sure it's okay, and then they'll give their bill of health and say, yeah, I'm in support of it.
I just don't understand, like, from the beginning,
Basically-
it's the stuff that's in reports from Families First. They say that there's no issues with us, anything, the kids are so happy when they see them, but in the end of every report, it'll be a high risk if they come home. A high risk. The minimal, what did they say, minimal what?
But Angel, they've said some good things about you people.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
no,
say good
that's
things.
that's the reason why I say they're
Yeah,
lying,
they do.
because they say good things, and then at the end of every report, It's something that they done said and it has nothing to do with you. It's family first. At the end of every report, it's something in there and we've called them out on it.
I think that's those threats of maltreatment that we're, you know what I mean? That we
Well,
have to, that
you
people
know,
don't
For
get
it
why
to
we have to
move,
put
this
that.
whole case to move forward, we gotta focus on the positive. And, you know, whatever's been said in reports, look for those positive things.
But it's bad that
Build
they say
upon
this stuff because for Amy to still be putting in reports now that I told her that I still smoke marijuana, that's a lie. I haven't talked to Amy. I haven't talked to her one time. So why would she put in reports that I told her I still smoke marijuana? Last time I said that, I was talking to Beth, and that was in July of last year in this same room. So how is it that Amy is
Not
still...
updated her report.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She just put it in on the last report that I
sometimes that
said that I do that. So it seems like to me they're just copying their reports now, just putting stuff down for every report.
And sometimes they leave part of it and then they put a new date on.
So that's not
and
being
they
transparent
continue.
then?
Yeah, that's making us look very bad. Saying that I'm still saying that I smoke. I haven't talked to Amy. We had one meeting with Amy and it was probably 10 minutes tops because I walked out. Because she told us if we didn't listen to her, we weren't gonna see our kids. And I have that on recording. She didn't even know we was recording. And so I'm saying the stuff that's been going on, what happened at the very beginning, that falls on DHS, on the end of the investigator that was there. I'm saying because of listening to lies. From that point on, it's been family first making up stuff. That's why we've been so frustrated. And the judge even said, even if we don't listen to her, we're still supposed to see our kids. We went 2 full months without seeing our kids. 2 whole months without seeing them. All because they wanted to control us. They wanted us to do parenting classes. I don't need parenting classes, especially from someone that didn't have kids. A person that doesn't have kids cannot teach me how to be a parent. That's impossible. I don't care what you say about paperwork, them being trained. If you don't have kids at home, dealing with them every day, you can't tell me how to be a parent. It's impossible. And then you give us another one that has a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. We got multiple kids that's older than her, only 2 kids. And none of our kids has ever been abused or anything just because they wasn't in school, because the laws in Tennessee are different from here. We moved here to start over. That's why we moved here. We didn't move here because we were running from somebody. That's the reason why I started working when I got here. So we moved here to start over, and we had an understanding with Shalonda. We have it in text message. She said that she wanted us up here. She said there's more help in Burlington. That's why we moved here. We didn't come here expecting her mother to make up some lies because she wanted to control us. Mad because, and we got plenty of text messages from Teresa threatening to
What's her
call.
mother right now? What's the relationship you guys have with her mother?
I really don't talk to
Yeah, me either. I'm saying, but she's very frustrated.
Yeah.
That's
But
been
the thing is,
consistent throughout your life, like, am I correct? That
What, with her mother?
relationship has always kind of been,
That's what she's talking about.
Ups and downs, yeah.
I
sure.
mean.
that's why you
from
don't
what-
listen to a person like that.
Angel, from what you've told me this morning, or this afternoon, is she did this down, you're saying she did this kind of stuff in Tennessee and now you're.
Well, she did it once, but they left.
But.
They came that one day and seen that her eye wasn't black, like Teresa said it
Once is more
was.
than enough.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
What's gonna prevent her from doing another round?
Oh yeah, another thing, she died a couple of months ago, but they brought her back from overdosing. I'm saying this is the person you listen to. She was in the hospital. The medicine they was giving her to bring her back, they said it wasn't working. So they had to double it and keep giving it to her. And then they finally got her to come back. Saying this is the person. And then her daughters, both. Why would you allow your husband or whatever to put a gun under your baby's seat? And drugs and money. He's in prison now, and she was locked up. Ashley, in Quincy shooting, where was your kids at when you was doing this early in the morning? Wasn't it like 7 in the morning? It was multiple people. She was shooting in the middle of town. And they on there saying what she was doing.
Ashley was shooting?
Ashley.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Type her name up. She was
yeah.
on the news.
That's what I'm saying. The house that she was living in. We talked to the landlord that was there because I was doing work for her, doing carpets. She said that she never paid her bills, period. She never paid them. I'm saying, and they had an agreement with the landlord, but she never paid her bill, and she got put out right after that. She said she don't take care of her kids. She never take care of her kids. Her kids called from the school. She done ran away multiple times. We see how she's treated. Teresa's in a video choking Jay Nala, telling her to call DHS. And Ashley recorded the entire video. She was choking her on the couch, telling her to call DHS. What happened? Nothing. JJ got sent home she got sent away for like the weekend and went back. These are the kind of people that did this to us.
Then, guys, what I would recommend to you as your ongoing worker, and I think this is what Greg's trying to ask you, is how does this not happen again in the future?
Oh, it'll never happen again because we're leaving.
Yep.
We're not staying here. We see how.
Well, and my
I
question is-
would never think that a place would be worse than Tennessee. How racist Tennessee is, because I've been there my whole life. But then when I come here and see what happened within 60 days, our kids being taken and been gone the whole year, our daughter don't even remember us.
Yeah.
I'm saying she don't even remember who we are. She was taken for nothing. She didn't have no dental problems. If y'all was just like you said, if one child could be taken and put back in the home with us, then why couldn't Cameron be the only one taken because of his teeth? None of the rest of them had any issues. None of the rest of them. All other three was taken for no reason.
Well, Beth, let me ask this. If these folks get someplace to live, I mean, do they need someplace different than where they're at now? Is that what we're talking about?
Honestly, Tim, I don't know. Because we've talked about this several times about us having access to Grandpa's house. And
But
we've shared
the reason
Grandpa-
why I don't agree with that is because the way they were taken. Because Shalonda house is bigger than
bigger,
Grandpa's.
yeah.
And if we couldn't stay in that
How
house,
can we stay in Grandpa's?
how can we stay in Grandpa's house? It makes no sense.
But guys, this is. Please.
It all falls back to the beginning.
Exactly.
Because if our kids was taken away from a bigger house, Grandpa has a 2-bedroom.
Can I answer that?
So how could we squeeze all the kids in a 2-bedroom when we was in a 3-bedroom?
Okay, hold on.
Can I, because I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think back of that day, and you came home, and I want to say that at the time, because of the heated arguments between all of the family members and whatever was going on there, is it because Shalonda lived in that house that you guys were at, right? Okay. I don't think that at the time, because of everything that was going on, that Shalonda wanted anybody
Because-
to live there.
because Teresa-
So, okay, so my question to you then today is because in my mind I'm thinking, if you guys truly want to leave after you get your kids back and are done with the court system, then, and I'm not the ongoing worker, so smack me if I'm saying this wrong, but then why do we want to waste a bunch of money to do rent, deposit, all of that? If you have a family member, and if it could be Shalonda or Grandpa or whoever, that would allow Beth to come in and say, okay, this is only a 2 or 3 bedroom house, but this is how we can set up beds are appropriate, you know what I mean, and kind of work with you on that sort of thing. If then the kids can go home that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but if that's the case, that should have been done over Shalonda house before the kids was taken. Because we had all of the stuff in storage in Tennessee. It's not that they didn't have beds. Because we have, on this phone right here, we have recordings of bringing Leah home to her brand new bed. I'm saying, every one of our kids had beds in Tennessee.
Okay, so I want
in
you.
3-bedroom home, not a 1-bedroom home.
And we
I'm
talked
saying-
about that because I
Yeah,
remember
but
that
what I'm saying
Monday
is,
you had stuff in
but
storage.
in court paperwork, it says we lived in a 1-bedroom with no furniture. That's what I'm saying.
Here, the house here with Shalonda, that 1 bedroom, the 1 room, the 1 bedroom. That's what that's pertaining to.
That's making that look so bad, saying that you live in a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
If you were just talking about the room, that's a 3-bedroom. We were staying in a room, but I slept on the floor with my boys, and there was so much room on the floor for us to sleep. That's where I slept on one side, and I made a pallet for the boys to sleep on the other side. Leah was way bigger than this. She would sleep in a what is it called?
Co-sleeper.
Yeah, a co-sleeper. So how was it dangerous for Leah when it was
So-
just her in the bed?
I want more than anything for you guys to get your kids back. I really do, the bottom of my heart. I want you guys to understand whether you like it or agree. Okay, when I come up on something like that and I'm doing the information, everything happens fast. I call my supervisor.
I just think that Tyson child should have been taken to.
Okay, and you know what? And I can respect you feeling that way. Okay. And
Yeah,
I'm
if she
sorry.
threw the car seat, I'm
So-
saying her child should have been taken.
So, but I guess what I'm saying is.
Because if I was one of your workers, if I pulled up to a scene where the kids was in trouble and I seen someone throwing a car seat, knowing there's kids outside, if that person had a child, I'm taking that child, and I'm also calling the police on that person.
And I agree with you, but the other side of it is, I don't know if there was something called in or not,
So it has to
But
be
a lot of
called in.
times,
It does have to be called in, guys.
but a lot of times.
What has to be called in?
It has to be
Well,
called
let-
in for you to
let-
take somebody.
Let me finish on that one. We have different categories for child abuse that could have been taken as a family assessment or rejected. We don't make that decision, it happens in Des Moines. And a lot of times when there's domestic, I think you got, what, 4 from the weekend, they were all domestics, and they came back as family assessments, which results in no findings at all. The worker just goes out and discusses what happened with the family and asks them if they need services, and that's pretty much.
Wasn't ours on a family assessment though?
Child abuse assessment.
So, I don't know, I understand and respect your frustration of not having your kids. And
Nah,
I-
you don't. You don't.
Okay,
It's
well,
never happened to
and
you
that's
before.
fine.
So you
So-
can't understand it. None of y'all can if it haven't happened.
No,
If
and
y'all
actually-
kids was never taken
and
from
actually,
y'all,
you're
it's
right.
nothing you cannot relate to it.
No, you are right. You are right. And I'm not gonna tell you that I can, because I've not been in that situation.
It's
Well, I will
impossible.
say something, and it's a personal thing. My sister's children were removed and terminated on, so in a perspective for an
No,
aunt,
because my brother's was.
it's still painful. It's still
No,
painful to watch.
no, it wasn't painful because he
Okay.
deserved it.
Okay, and I
I'm saying
respect your
if
opinion on
if your
that.
children are deserved to be taken because you're doing something stupid, then they're supposed to be taken. But not because somebody lied, because somebody making up something. Okay, Cameron's teeth. Oh, we knew that. I'm saying that's the reason why we set the surgery up. Cameron's teeth would have been taken care of before we moved here if she didn't have Leah.
But guys, this is where we've been in this.
Wait. If we was here and Cameron had his surgery, would the kids have been taken? Because it was scheduled for August 24th of 2017 before we moved here. Would the kids have been taken if Cameron's teeth had already been removed?
Okay, but I think what,
The reason why I'm asking is because you put physical abuse, and it's because of Cameron's teeth.
I'm sorry.
Medical.
Medical abuse.
thank you.
Well, yeah, that's
Medical-
for his teeth, right?
Medical and
Because there was nothing wrong with the rest of them.
housing. Do I ever think that you yourself intentionally physically harmed your children? No, that's why it wasn't founded on anything like that. But when I come up, parents aren't there. I've got relatives, because I got the order of removal before you got home, so I don't know where parents are. I don't have parents of these kids. I've got concerns of medical neglect. I've got an accumulation of things, the housing, the schooling, all of those things. So
Are
that's
those the
why-
things that you told the judge?
Yes, so I called my supervisor, as I had said before, and I said, hey, Greg, this is what I have, this is the situation that I've got, what do you want me to do? And he says, call a judge. So then I called the judge. And so